BCMM network. The following broadcast is solely for the enjoyment and entertainment of our audience. This is the Blue Collar Minute Men Show. Let's go, Brandon.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Blue Collar Minute Men Show, where we're just a few guys trying to help make this country great. Oh, Bill, how's it going?
It's going.
Ladies and gentlemen, I started that out by doing this because Lord help us. Lord help us all. Bill, all that's been talked this week has been the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. That is the big thing. And liberals are losing their ever-loving mind.
Well, you knew they would.
Well, I'll tell you this. Let's first start with this. Let's start with the obvious of what this is. Let's start with the obvious. They're calling Kyle a white supremacist.
For shooting
Bill,
black guys.
I was getting ready to say, not one person in the lawsuit was of color. Okay, that's number one. Like, we've got a problem, folks. We really do. And I believe, Bill, I think you told me there was a poll done amongst college kids, and they actually thought that Kyle had shot 3 black people.
Yeah. That was a consensus that when they did the interview, they were very surprised because they had seen bits and pieces of the trial on the news and stuff. They were very confused. Where's the black people he shot?
Oh God. Oh my God. This media, folks, like I said, I don't watch it. I barely watch Fox News, and that's iffy sometimes. Something got to be done. This is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, let's count it also too that, listen, this was a big win across the United States for everyone. Me, Bill, everyone out there, this was a big win. And people will argue with you, well, why was this a win? Why was this a win? 2 people lost their lives. 1 got shot. It was a win because as it stands throughout this country, that you have a right to defend yourself. So it wasn't just Kyle that was on trial. It was that right for everyone in this country to be able to defend themselves. Bill, can you imagine if he had lost this, what that would have done for every woman, every man in this country?
It would have just undermined the entire Constitution.
I mean, let's think about it like this. If a woman is being attacked in an alleyway and she pulls a gun to defend herself and shoots her attacker, then she could go to jail because she did that. See, this is what I'm saying. Folks, you got to pay attention to this stuff. And whether you like it or not, you need to vote, because that right could have easily been taken away from us. And that's just not, and look, let's stop the color stuff, but that's not for just white people. The right to defend yourself crosses everybody in this country. It doesn't matter your color, whether you're white, black, brown, Asian, it doesn't matter. You live in this country, you have the right to defend yourself. So that is not a black or white thing when it comes down to that. So yes, that was a big win for us. The other thing in this trial that people seem to just let it go, one of the people who was killed was a pedophile. The other person who was killed was a convicted felon.
Well, The other person that was killed, yeah, he was a felon also, but he was a woman beater.
Yes.
And then the one that lived that got shot was a convicted felon with a firearm.
But nobody seemed to care about that. They were like, let's like scoot that over here and we got to focus on doing something with this young man. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm losing my train of thought. But during this whole trial and everything, no one seemed to care that this was a juvenile who had been chased down by several people. And it came to find out in the trial, he was hit twice with the skateboard, Bill.
And knocked
He was
down
hit.
and kicked.
Yes. And did not fire his weapon. So what restraint did that young man have at that point?
He fled. He ran until he ran out of places to run. And then they had
And
him cornered. He had no choice but to defend himself.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's what everybody is upset about this and watched this so closely for. If you lived under a rock for your entire life, you may have an excuse. But the right for you to defend yourself was the main thing that was on trial here. They were using Kyle as a scapegoat. But, you know, listen, whatever. So I got some tweets, some stuff here from Twitter. I got Twitter. I can't even freaking talk. To go along with this mainstream media, and Bill, you and I are just talking about this. These freaking celebrities, man. I'm trying to give some of them the benefit of the doubt, but it's getting stupid. So listen to this tweet. This is a tweet put out by Mark Ruffalo, okay? He says, "We come together to mourn the lives lost to the same racist system that devalues Black lives and devalued the lives of Anthony and JoJo." Okay. Let me just say, the loss of any life, no matter what, is tragic because that person no longer can live and have a chance to correct the wrongs that they made. But let's just take a moment and step back. Mark Ruffalo said a racist system that devalues Black lives. What was racist in this Kyle Rittenhouse trial?
Well, when white people shoot white people, it's now racist.
Okay,
All I can say.
that is the part of the dumbest thing. Then Mark Ruffalo says he calls them like he knows these guys, Anthony and JoJo. And I just said that one was a pedophile and the other was a convicted
Well, if
pedophile.
he knows them, we should be looking into him, you know?
Exactly. Now, here's another tweet. Everybody remember Maria Shriver? I don't know if there's some young people who don't know who Maria Shriver is. She married Arnold Schwarzenegger. She was part of the Kennedy legacy. But Maria Shriver tweeted this. She says, "I'm trying to take a beat to digest the Rittenhouse verdict. My son just asked me how it's possible that he didn't get charged for anything. How is that possible? I don't have an answer for him."
Well, it's possible because they followed the letter of the law.
And he had a right to defend himself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, people.
That's what you need to be explaining to your children. Under our laws, he has the right to protect himself.
Yes. I'm this is just, we have got to do something. I'm telling you all, if 2022 cannot get here fast enough, you all have got to vote, please. Everybody says, well, it's not, my vote's not going to matter and blah, 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 this. We've got to do something. If you don't do anything, then you're part of the actual problem as well, because eventually it's going to come all the way back to us. I don't get it. I really don't. What are your thoughts, Bill? I know that you haven't said a whole lot, but
It just, he's gonna be one rich dude here in the next little bit, because I mean, he could sue every news channel. There's a bunch of politicians he could sue, to include Joe Biden.
mhm,
Because the comments Joe Biden made on this was before he was president. So guess what?
he's,
He can be
Wow.
sued.
yeah, he's liable for lawsuit.
Yep. I hope he does it. Get some of that
Well,
Ukrainian money.
well, I'm telling you, Bill, this is, I don't know what more we could do. I mean, I'm glad this turned out the way it did. Now I have to tell you this too, of course, you and I talked about this. Everybody knows the great Carl. The great Carl, he and I was arguing yesterday over this whole thing. And he seemed to be stuck on the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse crossed state lines with a rifle and shot 3 people. Bill,
No. Kyle Rittenhouse had a rifle, which in Wisconsin you can legally possess at 17. Where did he buy that rifle? Wisconsin.
mhm,
Where was that rifle stored?
Wisconsin.
So no, he didn't bring his weapon across state lines. His father lives in Kenosha.
Yes.
A lot of his family live in Kenosha. He took paramedic training in Kenosha. He was a police explorer in Kenosha. See the ties here?
Yep.
Even though he was living at his mother's house, which was 20 miles away. Oh, wait a minute. But it was a whole nother state. Yeah, it was 20 miles away in Illinois,
Mhm,
but 20 miles.
yep.
All right. His dad's family all lived in Kenosha. He used to live in Kenosha, but he travels back and forth between his mom and his dad.
Oh, like a joint custody thing.
Like, yeah, So,
And
no, he didn't carry his gun across state lines. No, he didn't illegally do any of that stuff. Yes, he has connections to Kenosha,
mhm,
but if you watch the mainstream media, he brought a gun across state lines. He had no business being in Kenosha. He didn't know anybody in Kenosha. The kid grew up there.
yes.
He knew
And
all the
see,
people there.
my brother Carl is a perfect example of how listening to that mainstream media gets you misinformed over here. And that's what he and I started an argument about. And then I don't understand his logic, but he's trying to say something about, I can shoot 3 people if they come at me. And I'm like, if it's self-defense, I would say so, but I just told him to go ahead. I said, well, you try it. I said, run down Tennessee with a rifle and see how it works out. You shoot 3 people. Oh, geez. Folks, we're just trying to go over some of this stuff to hopefully clear up a little light. There's been a lot of misinformation put out on this. I mean, a ton. And then information that should have been put out that wasn't put out. Like the fact that there were 3 felons.
And see, no one is still, oh, I will say one thing. The guy that the prosecution had as a witness, the one that got shot, if you watch the trial, you would see he admitted on the stand that he was being given a deal to testify. If he testified, they weren't going to charge him with felon with a handgun.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, that whole, the whole prosecution in that case was, that guy's never going to work again, I'm sure.
I'm telling you, it was unbelievable. I am say this, my hat's off, and I applaud the judge in this case. He held his ground throughout the whole thing. He didn't allow any bull crap. And that is what we need throughout this country. We don't need lawyers, judges, these politicians who are getting these backdoor payments to make a decision on things, that, aren't even fact. And since you brought that up, Bill, that judge got death threats.
Oh, yeah.
And we talked about that too.
Mhm.
He got death threats. Jurors got death threats.
Got followed.
Followed.
And
And
now, what? Who's getting
NBC,
threats now?
well, Rittenhouse now is getting threats. Look, it's over. It's done. Justice prevailed. But I don't understand how the judge did say this. He did file, he did take care of NBC and MSNBC by barring them from the courtroom for following the jurors. If you ask me, they should be charged with intimidating a jury. And Bill, I can't remember, that's not a federal offense, is it? But it is a
It can
felony
be.
offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a felony offense. You cannot, by no means, try to intimidate a jury. That's what the media did. That's what the mob did outside throughout this whole thing. Judge should have threw out a case like weeks ago just because of the mob. But what do I know? I don't know the law. I don't know the law, so what do I know? And I think that's one of the things people should look into a little bit more. Understand what your laws are in your prospective state. At least get a basic knowledge.
For an example, he ran from his attackers and tried to get away until they backed him into a corner. You don't have to, the law in Wisconsin, you have no obligation to retreat. That means you can stand your ground where you're at. But he went farther than that and tried to get away from him.
Folks, we're telling you the truth. I mean, we're not making this up. I don't think people realize, Bill, how close they actually were to losing their right to defend themselves.
Very close.
Because this is still about your guns. I don't care what you say. If they had won that case, the next thing they'd be doing was going to be trying to do red flag laws to get guns.
Mhm.
Folks, these times that we are living in right now are the most important of your lifetime. The pendulum right now is balanced. Just one little tip one way is going to change the course of life in this country for a while. Whether that be it tips to take away guns or it tips back the other way to bring justice back and bring order back and get us back on track. But right now, it's like this. And one little thing either way it's going. Folks, we need you. You need your neighbors. And I've said this before. We've got to start talking to one another. We've got to put the BS aside and let's deal with the facts and common sense to get things back in order. That's what we got to do. I mean, I don't see any other way. Bill left you kind of speechless.
I'm just listening. I
Well-
agree wholeheartedly.
Well, I mean, it's bad, folks. I mean, we're there. I mean,
We have definitely got to get out and get the House back, get the Senate back. I mean, we have to do something here because this has just gone too far.
well, speaking of which, with government, Bill, I'm gonna go ahead and mention the fact because this is actually going around a little bit. There are rumors going around that Kamala Harris is going to be replaced.
That's
Yeah.
the rumor at the coffee pot, water cooler, or whatever you want to call it. But I guess her and the old Biden ain't getting along too well right now. He's talking about having her outed and replacing her with Buttigieg. Which is even worse.
I'm telling you, I don't even know if that was that's going to be a good thing or not. I mean, Buttigieg, I never liked him from the beginning. So, but I mean, good grief. I'm going to see if I can't show this real quick, see if it shows up. But I've got this photo of Kamala and Willie Brown. Let's see if I can get it to show.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Kamala Harris and Willie Brown back in 1994.
That high-end call girl.
Yes. But the article says right here, you know, at that time, Harris was 29 years old. She went to this place with Willie, and Willie's wife was there, but she was brazen enough that she came out publicly stating that she was his date with his wife there at the party.
And
That's
what did,
your
what did the paper call her?
Let's see, a high-end call girl. In quote,
That's your vice president.
that is your vice president. I mean, come on, man. You know, Bill, something else. You know, they brought up Brett Kavanaugh alongside of Kyle Rittenhouse. Now, Kavanaugh, they said he did something like 30, 40 years ago when he was in high school. Nobody can hardly remember. That turned out to be nothing. And then, of course, you got Kyle, who defended himself legitimately. And then you have Kamala, who everybody has told everybody that she's been a high-end call girl, who is now your vice president. Oh,
You can't make this stuff up.
I'm just waiting. Something's gotta give, folks. I'm serious. We've got to vet our politicians from the local level in your town, wherever you are, from the local level all the way to the top. They've got to be vetted. We've got to get some good people. And if you're one of those people who you're on the fence about whether you should run or not, all I got to say is what are your actual intentions? Are you wanting to help the country? Are you wanting to hurt the country? Well, I shouldn't say that. Everybody has the best intentions, but the best intentions are not just the best things for the country. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because what's that old saying about the road being paved with good intentions or something?
Road to hell. Hey,
Yeah. With good intentions.
well, I'm just gonna throw this out here. So this is a meme, Okay.
Mhm,
And it says, and you gotta consider this now.
mhm.
It's amazing how one can fire into a crowd of liberals and instantly hit a pedophile, a woman beater, and a career criminal. Okay. I mean, just randomly, 3 guys that got shot in this liberal protest turned out to be criminals, all 3 of
Makes you wonder, huh?
them. Yeah.
Gosh. Oh, oh, Bill, I gotta throw this out there. This week too, I can't really remember her name. I'd have to find the article. I wasn't prepped for this one, folks. Sorry. But this week on the floor of Congress, a lady from Colorado spoke. And of course, it was great. She basically ran Ian Omar, however you say her, one of the squad. Ian Omar gave her absolute pure hell. She made the comment that one, it was disgraceful the way that they were acting and the things that they were doing in Congress. And she went on to say, like, yeah, when Ian Omar talked to her husband, and she goes, not her brother husband, but her husband. I'm telling you, there has to be some bad tension up there in Washington right now.
If you guys don't know what he's talking about, well, not everybody does, but she married her brother to get citizenship.
Married her brother so he could get citizenship.
So she could get citizenship.
Oh, so she could get citizenship. My bad.
He was already here, but I mean, yeah, she's somebody's congresswoman.
I don't even want to know if they consummated the marriage.
That's what they call her brother husband, by the way.
Yes. So when that lady from Colorado took the microphone and started talking about Ian talking to her husband, not her brother husband, like, oh, snap. But seriously, we've got to change our politics. If anything, all of this should be a lesson to all of us about how out of control we let things get. And I'm including me in this. And I say we, meaning the people. We've let this get out of hand just by listening to these people come up with this nonsense. And it's easy to tear something down, but it's hard to build it back. And they are tearing this country down within like 2 years. 2022 is coming around and Joe's going to be, we don't know where Joe's going to be, but Joe's going to be up there somewhere wandering around. One other thing, Bill, they passed that other $1 trillion bill this week.
Last I heard Friday, they were getting ready to vote on it, and I don't know how it went. I can't find anything on it.
Now, was this the social spending bill?
Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Of course, none of it was going to us, I'm sure.
I don't know. Big thing that was going on, I guess, over the week, also that we need to look into and get more information on for next week is all the reporters, right-wing reporters that got raided recently by the FBI.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we need to look into that. Veritas was raided.
What about O'Bannon?
Yeah, and O'Bannon and his misdemeanor from hell.
Yes. Never in my life have I seen an indictment on a misdemeanor.
You have now.
Yeah, I have now. Jeez. Let me read this meme to you all real quick. I just found this. This is funny. It says, as the Kyle Rittenhouse trial comes to a close, the prosecution has one trick left up its sleeve. Prosecutor gets up and he says, Judge, I move that we allow mail-in verdicts.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
yeah, so it is.
Like I said, we've got to change this. As of right now, your guns are still safe for now, but that doesn't mean they're going to stop coming. It's going to be something else. Also, as a fallout, I reckon that they have started rioting in several liberal cities.
Mhm.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't even looked. And you want to know the reason why? It's because I'm tired of the riots. They can easily stop it. They let the police do their job in a National Guard and get these people off the streets. But if it's a liberal run city and they're going to allow it, then they get what they get. I'm done with it. Just don't come to my doorstep because you'll be leaving in a body bag.
Yeah.
You got anything?
That's about it.
Yeah, we didn't have much this week. Like I said, Kyle Rittenhouse, that's been all over everything.
That's just taking all the news.
Yeah. And of course, like I said, that is a big win for every person in this country. Kyle isn't the only one who won that day. All of us did. And I explained why. Your right to defend yourself is one of the things that makes this country great. Your right to be able to own a gun, defend your property, your family, is one of the reasons this country is great. And we got to keep it that way. So, Bill, any final word?
We'll research this and try to find out what we can find on that, the FBI raids on these reporters. Clearly, I know Veritas has already came out and made a couple statements since this happened.
Mhm.
Clearly, items were taken that are protected under the freedom of the press. Items were taken that were not on the warrant. So we'll try to follow that story and see what we can get on that.
Because it's the, I don't even know if I want to call them a government or an administration at this point. They're more like a government mob. And I don't know who the mob boss is. It clearly ain't Biden, but they just come in and do what they want. Strong arm businesses, extortion, use the
Okay.
media.
Here's one for you. The way the
Mhm.
media looks at things. A white dude shoots other white dudes is now called racist by the news. But Joe Biden calling people Negroes is perfectly fine. Remember his speech the other day?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Uh,
Where he said, was it Jackie Robinson?
was a Negro.
Yeah, he said he was okay. He's like, I remember the Negro players like Jackie Robinson. He was okay. I think Jackie Robinson was a little more than okay. He was kind of a great baseball player.
Yeah.
But hey, nobody's rioting about that. Black
Yep.
folks aren't getting mad about that.
No, but they're getting mad because a white dude shot 3 white dudes.
I think we slipped through a time loop somewhere. I think this is a
Something.
different world.
Something's happening.
Oh gosh. Well, that's about all we got. It was kind of a short, sweet show. But hey, listen, check out our website. We actually got something new up on the website now. If you go to our website, bluecollarminutemen.com, and go to the Contact Us section, and you scroll down, we now have a section where we're going to put links to different videos. That way, for those who want to check it out, we'll go over those things on the show And if you've checked out the links during the week, then you'll know what we're talking about and where we get our information. So that's something new on the website. But check us out there. Email us, bluecollarminutemen@protonmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Get your questions, comments, ideas about shows. Also check us out on MeWe, Spreely, Gab. We're still on YouTube, right, Bill?
Still on YouTube.
Still on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. And you can also check our videos out on the website once they get posted. I think that's about it. I think I covered it all.
Pretty
I need
much.
one. We need to have like one of those scrolling credit things.
Yeah.
Like where it scrolls the credits.
I'll work on that and see what I can come up with.
No, but and oh, Justin couldn't be with us today. He's been really busy. Thanksgiving, of course, is coming up, and we want to wish all of you a happy Thanksgiving, by the way. And thank you all for tuning in.
And right after Thanksgiving, we'll start our food drive.
Yes. So we'll give you more information on that and how you can participate in that. But as for us here at the Blue Collar Minutemen, thank you all for joining us. As always, God bless you all. God bless America.
God bless.
See you.